Well guys, so this isn't a car. Those of you who have been subscribed to me for a while might think that this is a little bit different than what I normally get into, and it really is. I bought a bike, as you guys can clearly see. Got a really good deal on it too. It's a 2014 Kawasaki Ninja 300 Special Edition. All the Special Edition means is it's got white fairings, and it was supposed to have a decal package, which the prior owner took off with a heat gun. Now I'm going to go ahead and push this thing out so we can get a little bit better lighting on it. So you can see there's a little bit of damage right here. We'll show that to you guys closer here in a minute. But I guess he let his friend drive it, so he said, and his friend tried to do a U-turn. Never ridden a bike before, and he dumped it over on the side. The only damage it seemed to do was just that little bit. I'll show you guys closer here in a minute, like I just said. But so it came with the original exhaust. It's got a aftermarket one on. Forget who makes it. It came with a spare key. The other key is on the bike right now. This is all the original warranty paperwork from the dealership. Then everybody gives you these whenever you buy a bike from a dealer, though I think you can pick them up anywhere. Then it came with the owner's manual. This does have ABS on it as well, which is, for me, from what I can tell, it's a huge plus. You know, I'm not an experienced rider. I'm going to go in and get my permit here pretty soon. It's just a 15-question test, and then they'll let you ride the motorcycle during the daytime only, and on city streets but not highway, until I get the M1, as it's called, rating for my driver's license. I can't drive it on the highway, and I can't ride it during the nighttime. Now, the guy did include a couple goodies with it. He included a can of Plasti Dip. I'll get to that in a minute as well as a brand new battery tender, just in case I'm not going to be riding the bike for a while, or I go to, you know, another work vacation for another couple weeks and just leave the battery tender on the bike hooked up to it, and it'll save the battery for me. This little hose clamp is for the original muffler right there. So I'm going to go ahead and set it outside. Actually, I don't even need to turn it on. I can do that out there. I'm just going to back it out. So here's a more close-up look at the bike. Show you guys how many miles are on it. Like I said, I got a screaming deal on this thing. $33.80. That's how many miles are on it. It's a 2014. A few scuffs and scratches. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. Definitely, I got a great deal on it. I didn't drive it back here or ride it back here. My coworker did. He really knows bikes, and he gave it his blessing. And here's a closer look at the exhaust. It's not really much baffling in there. This little thing is loud. I'm probably going to put the stock exhaust back onto it. It's actually got a sight glass for your oil level. So when the bike is, I don't want to flip it over yet because it's on an incline, but when the bike is standing straight up, you can actually see what the oil level is. I like the gas cap too. It's kind of similar to the ones we have on our airplane at work. Chain's in great shape. The brakes are all in good shape. The tires are in really good shape as well. I mean, it's only got 3,300 miles on it. You wouldn't expect it to be too much different. Now, the damage that I was talking about, it didn't go past the fairing, thankfully. I already looked at it, and my coworker looked at it and gave it his blessing, and neither one of us could find anything wrong with it. Just there's a crack right here, obviously some scuffing. It's really only this fairing, which I can replace, probably will replace eventually. Not really too worried about it right now. And then you can get frame sliders that come out of here to protect everything more so. So let's go ahead and start it up. Now that I show you guys it running, I'll go ahead and bring it back into the garage. Then I'll talk about it some more. I've been looking at buying a bike for a while. Probably for about this past 6 months. It's been an idea that I've been tossing around. Namely because I know that it's a pretty fun experience to ride a bike. Now I have ridden dirt bikes before. Really nothing special there, nothing actually larger than a 125. I figured because compared to a car, I was looking at cars. I was looking for something fun to drive that was cheap, that was relatively economical, that, let's see, that was fun to drive, that had a decent amount of power, something that, you know, I would get in it, or in this case on it, and just enjoy it for what it is. Now, I've had my fair share of cars, and any of you guys who have been subscribed to me for long enough already know that. There's no doubt in my mind. So I wanted to try something a little bit different. Why did I go with the Kawasaki Ninja 300? Well, I chose the 300 because they're relatively plentiful. Same with the Ninja 250s. You know, I'm no problem admitting to it, but I'm a beginner rider. I don't need a 600 or 1000 cc bike to start out and learn on. You know, I have really no problem owning and running a 300 cc bike. But I went with a Ninja. I was looking at dual sports as well because you can actually get them for about $1,000 cheaper than I paid for this thing. Now, the thing is with the dual sports is they don't seem like they sell all that easily. And I say that because, as I told you guys, I've been looking around for a bike for months, and I kept seeing the same ones over and over again. Eventually they did sell, but bikes like these, I actually jumped on this one. I saw the posting and called the guy 16 hours after he had posted it. Now, the reason why I jumped on one of these as opposed to a dual sport, which I would probably have just about the same amount of fun on, is because these go quickly. If the time comes that I ever want to sell this thing or want to get out of motorcycles, even if I just decide that I don't like riding them, well, it won't be hard to sell this thing. It really wouldn't. There's no doubt in my mind. In fact, if I was to even go so far as to fix this fairing right here that's all scuffed up and damaged, I would hazard to guess that I'd probably get more than what I paid for it if I decided to sell it. So that's why I looked at this particular bike. There was a few other Ninjas that I was going to look at. One was a 2012 250. It had 1,000 miles on it, but she was asking $4,000 for it. I was going to look at that one if this one didn't plan out to be as good as it was, and obviously it does need a little bit of work. It needs a new little reflector right here, which this one's kind of messed up. Obviously the fairing needs to be replaced at the very least. I'll end up replacing that exhaust with the old one just because this one's just too loud for me. But for what it is, I'm pretty happy with it. And I was alluding to two things. One is he decided to plasti dip the windshield, or the windscreen rather. Now, I don't really like plasti dip, but it's pretty easy to remove. But the second thing is I mentioned a safety course. In California, if you're under 21, you have to take a safety course if you want your license, I believe. But being that I work on a military base, you have to take this safety course, and it's sanctioned through the state. But I also have to wear one of those orange or neon yellow vests on base. Yeah, it was like that at the other base that I worked on, so it's a military thing. Even though I'm a civilian, I still have to abide by their rules, seeing as how I'm working on their installation, so it's not that big of a deal. In all honesty, I was probably going to take this course anyways, because they probably give you a lot of valuable information on what to do. And they also provide the bikes and the helmets. I think their Honda Rebels is what they provide you with. It's really nothing special, but Anywho. So that's really about it for this video, guys. I hope you can look forward to more of these. I should have some sort of review on this bike at some point, maybe an update video on it, depending on where I go with this whole idea that I've got. That's really about it. I got to go get the permit here pretty soon. Because with the permit, I can actually, take this thing out to an empty parking lot and practice on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video for what it is. Stay tuned for future videos.